Here's the first step you need to understand when transitioning from a traditional job into entrepreneurship. So you've always got to start focusing on what problem that you're solving. So for example, when I was an animator, I worked in central London as a computer animator. And to transition into my first business, which was real estate, I had to figure out, first of all, myself, is this even possible? Whilst I was in a job, I would start doing real estate on the side. On my commute to work, I would be creating lots of different deal structures. I'd be calling up estate agents. When I would arrive at the train station and from the walk from the train station to my job, I'd be making phone calls to agents to really ask them what sort of deals you have available. So when I was making that transition, the question I had to ask is, can I replace my income through real estate? And one of the first deals that I did, in that first deal, I bought for $85,000, I sold it for $185,000. When I look at how that's possible, I was like, oh my God, can you imagine if I had all the time to do this? What a lot of people don't do is they don't focus on what it takes to be able to replace their income. So if you're able to replace your income, then you get to a point where you go, you know what, you start creating that personal belief that you can do it. When you're transitioning, you need to consider a few things. The first one, how much do I need to be able to replace my income? So for me, I was on a £36,000 salary. And here's the interesting thing. From $36,000 to $60,000, my pay rise, I actually turned down the job. Why? Because the more that you get paid, the more responsibility you have. The second thing I start thinking about is, how sustainable is it? Because a lot of the times when you're transitioning from a job into a business, you're always thinking, will this work? There's a lot of fears that kick in. Am I good enough for this? Or what if everything fails? And I remember my partner at the time, I said to her, but I really want to do this. I'm really confident. And there's that little voice in the back of my mind that said, well, what if I fail? You know what she said to me? She said, well, John, if you fail at that and it doesn't work, do you feel that you can get another job? And I thought, of course, right? So I had the confidence that I was able to go away and get a job if things didn't work. I have a lot of my students now who leave six-figure, sometimes multiple six-figure corporate jobs to start their own business. Why? Because they want to have flexibility. They want to be able to work on their terms. If they want to lie in on a Monday, they can lie in. If they want to work on a weekend, it's their choice. Another thing when you're transitioning from a traditional job into a business is, who can you partner with? There's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, you go together. So you have to find someone who doesn't have the same skill set as you. What a lot of people do is they find the same people and they go, okay, you're an entrepreneur and you're an extrovert, I'm an extrovert, let's partner together. Because unfortunately, people like you, like them, like you. You don't want that. In fact, you want someone who's completely opposite to you. So if someone's really good at marketing, you need to find someone who's really good at sales. They're complementary. If you have someone who's very big picture thinking, you need to find somebody who's very detail thinking. If you have a visionary, you want to find the opposite of that, of someone who doesn't have a vision but is able to implement your vision. And that's the key. If you look at team, there's no I in the team, right? That's why you need to start building a great team. That's why one of the mindsets is, when we're an employee, we always think about, okay, I'm the best person for the job. But when we come into business, business is all about, who else can I hire or who can I work with that can actually help me do this as well? So you need to understand team building and leadership skills. And it's not an easy thing to learn, but you need to come from the place of, if you're going to tell someone else to do something, is this something I'll do myself? If you're asking someone to do that, then are you doing it yourself? So that's part of leading by leadership. The fourth thing I would always say is, when you're transitioning from a job to a business, you have to think about, what is the benefit of this? What is the end game? Because actually a lot of people leave a 9 to 5, but when they start a business, they work from 7 till 7 or 7 till midnight. So actually you're working longer hours. But here's the thing, it's the choice that you get to do that without having to answer to a boss, without having to look at your watch and say, oh, that's the time. You can do whatever you want. Like myself, I fly all around the world because I love to network internationally and globally. Because one of the things I believe is that your network is your net worth. It takes one person and one strategy combined together is what produces multi-million-pound companies, in some case billion-dollar companies. You have to think about, okay, what are you doing and why are you doing it? And also when you're transitioning, a business is all about, you have to create profit. So then how do you charge for something? Well, the way you charge for something is you make sure that you are solving a unique problem that you can uniquely solve in your way. Now, there are lots of competition out there. Like if you look at McDonald's, there are lots of burger places out there. But what's the difference between McDonald's and KFC? McDonald's is burgers, right? And KFC is mainly chicken. So they're both serving fast food, but they have a different niche. The secret to this is to go really broad, and then within the broadness, you'll find your niche. For example, when I first started, I always found people in corporate jobs that wanted to get into real estate. So that became my first thing. And then when I started becoming a speaker, people said, John, I've got a really powerful message to share. I love to help people. I want to become a speaker. And then I started teaching people how to speak and how to get your message to the world. And then from there, people said, well, John, like, I want to scale my companies up. I'm already in business. I want to take it from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9 figures, and 9 and beyond. Then I started coaching people through that process. And then in return, now my business model is very simple. I consult for equity, or what we call the Faux Strategy, FOE, fee, override, equity. People say, John, I want you to take my business from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9 figures. So then I come in and I get a fee. The second thing is we have override. So someone who says, John, my business is making 10 million, but if I get you from 10 to 20 million, then I get a percentage of the 20 million. That's called an override. And then the equity is once the company gets big, then you want to look for target acquisitions, mergers, maybe in IPOs and things like that. So the company builds value. People, when they come to me, it's not just about the knowledge, but it's the contacts and it's the network. Because I know somebody who knows somebody. So this is one of the reasons why I travel all around the world, because I'm able to find the right people for the right job. And if someone says to me, John, I want to know someone in this, I can pick up the phone, I go, I know someone in that. And that's the key. Your network is your net worth. It's not who you know, but it's who knows you. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to transitioning from a traditional job to a business, because it's not just like, I know a lot of people, they're really good at what they do, then they try and start their own thing, but they find that they can't be profitable. Why? In fact, there's a really good book called The E-Myth, called The Entrepreneur's Myth. All because you're good at something doesn't mean you're a good owner, operator. For example, I know a lot of people who are incredible animators. They would leave the animation job and then they would start their own animation company only to find that they can't get clients. Because a business, you need to understand quite a lot of things. You need to understand your marketing, you need to understand your sales, you need to have someone for strategy, you need to have someone who's going to manage your customer service, you're going to have someone to manage all your operations, then your financials, your bookkeeping and your CFO. Then you need someone who's good at hiring the right people, so your chief people officer. And then you got to look for your CTO, because you need to have some technology, and then now you've got AI. So there's all these different things that come into play. But the good news is, in today's world, you can have what we call AI agents. So an AI agent, you can have an AI that can just do the sales for you. You can have an AI that can just do the marketing for you. You can have the AI that can do just your strategy for you. In fact, what I'll do in the next video, I'll create something that can talk about this. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see all the different trainings on there and all the things that I'm doing. Because actually these videos, I'm gonna do these little mini masterclasses for you to kind of give you all the things I've done in the last 20 years of being in business. And I've had a lot of business that made millions and a lot of business that lost millions. So learn from my trials and tribulations, my mistakes, but also my successes as well. If any of you would love to sort of meet me in person, you'd love to bounce some ideas, you want me to maybe do some collaborations, there's a link below this video as well. If you click that, you can basically come to one of my live in-person masterminds that I run around the world, because I love to meet people, to mastermind ideas. I love sitting down with people and just come up with ideas, but also the execution path in order to make these happen as well. There's the last thing that I want to share with you when it comes to transitioning from a job into a business is your risk factor. So when you do things right now, the definition of entrepreneur is investing in businesses in the hope of profit, or taking on financial risks in the hope of profit. Hope, it's not guaranteed. So that means the things that you start, chances are you're going to lose money when you start testing this stuff out. I mean, I've lost a lot of money, testing a lot of things out, but I test to know what works and what doesn't work. So when you do this, you have two choices. One, you can test this stuff out yourself, or number two, you can find someone and have them mentor and coach you through that as well. So for me, I always find great mentors and teachers. So if I'm going to a specific industry like real estate, I'll get a mentor. So one of my first mentors, his name was Ranjan Bhattacharya, right? And he actually still runs events till today. And I learned a lot of my strategies from my second property mentor. His name was Ying Tan. He was a broker. So he taught me a lot of these financing strategies, because real estate was all about OPM, other people's money. And then when I started getting to speaking, I started finding all these big gurus that would speak on stage, and then I find the biggest promoters in the world, and then I find all the best people in Silicon Valley to invest in businesses and tech. So I have a lot of mentors in different areas. When I started doing a lot of the Web3 stuff, you need to think, who's the best person, or in your network, who do you know who already has the result that you have? And just ask two simple questions. Who are they? How did they do it? That's it. I'll link a video at the end of this to kind of give you some more insights on how we do that as well. But this is what you want to think about when you're transitioning from a job to a business. If you like this, by the way, like and share this video with someone who's looking to start a business or transitioning from a job into a business. If you have any questions, leave a question below and I'll come in and personally answer those questions as well. But share it to someone on WhatsApp, and make sure you check out this video here as well.